Everybody see the record button showed up? Okay. All right, good afternoon. Welcome. It's the last official session for today, but the best. Come on now. I'm welcoming you to the 2:30 session, the Pathways to Possibilities, a model of K-12 career discovery. We are excited to have Nicole Will from Kettering City Schools. And we are recording this session, so it will be on the website within the next week or so. So if you need to go back, you need to share it with anybody, that's where it's going to be. So a little bit about Nicole. She is in her first year as the Workforce Development Navigator for Kettering City Schools. And what's neat is prior to that, she served as the Career Tech Counselor at Kettering Fairmont High School and also was head of the high school counseling staff. During Nicole's time as the Career Tech Counselor, she was able to see firsthand how the exposure and experiences created through career tech education enhanced and enriched the education of students. So she's excited. I'm going to pause and let people in. We got this. She's excited to take her knowledge and business relationships to expand career education, exposure, and experiences to all students in Kettering City Schools, not just those in career tech education. So I'm going to hand this off to her and stop sharing.
All right. Now I'm going to share.
All right, looks good.
Okay. Okay. So, like Carrie said, my name is Nicole Will, and I am the Workforce Development Navigator here for Kettering City Schools. So just as we go through some objectives of this session is to help understand what this position is and why it exists. The work that we're doing with our K-12 students, especially at the various age ranges, how we're helping students identify their career pathways and gain career exposures and experiences, and then also ways that we're working to create a career awareness culture within our district. So first, what is this position and who does it benefit? So this Workforce Development Navigator position is brand new to Kettering City Schools this school year. And it was created through a grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So my position, Kettering City Schools worked with Learn to Earn Dayton and the Montgomery County ESC to get that grant. And so there is a workforce development navigator through the Montgomery County ESC that works with some of the districts through there at Dayton Public Schools, and then again here at Kettering. We're also using this as a pilot for the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce, and the hope is that by showing some of the work that we can do over these 2 years with the grant, that then there can be some funding that becomes available for other districts throughout the state. Our big focus over these 2 years with the pilot is in the areas of healthcare, IT, computer science, and manufacturing and engineering. However, we are doing stuff in all of the areas. Those are just some of our big focus areas. At the elementary and middle school level, we're really doing a lot about career awareness, exploration, exposure, and how that can be embedded into already existing curriculum for our teachers. And then specifically at the high school, we're looking more at providing career experiences and really funneling students into appropriate pathways based on what their goals are. So for some students, that's career tech. For some, it's our advanced studies pathways with the IB diploma or doing an AP-IB combination. But we really want to, junior and senior year, focus on those, what we kind of call our missing in the middle kiddos, who aren't in career tech and aren't in an advanced study track, and making sure that they have a plan for after they leave us after graduation. All right. So what are the ways that we're doing this work? Or why are we doing this work? We know that all of our students are going to have a career at some point. And so we want to make sure that they're prepared for that. I often tell people I don't think that success really should just be measured from a student earning a high school diploma. They need to know what they're doing the day after they have that diploma in hand and have a plan and a pathway that's going to help them earn a livable and sustaining wage. And we want students to start to do that career exploration in high school. I think one of the quotes up here is about how college is the most expensive time to do career exploration. So we want to make sure that when our students leave us, that they at least have an idea of the pathway, and also looking at what are those career goals and then what is the path that's going to best help them meet those goals. And then as well, we do offer youth science. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in this presentation, but we do definitely see through our youth science data that we have exposure gaps in some of our most in-demand career fields. And so we're really working to close those exposure gaps as well. All right. So with the elementary and that K-5 space, doing a lot around career exploration. So really creating that culture of career awareness, doing that through bringing in guest speakers, a lot of project-based learning, and then again, embedding activities into curriculum that teachers are already doing that already exists. So we have 8 elementary schools in Kettering. Each elementary partners with some different local businesses to help do some of that work-based learning and career awareness activities with our elementary students. We also put a huge emphasis in Kettering on STEAM education and having that STEAM state of mind of problem solving, just overall curiosity, lifelong learning. And so through that, each one of our buildings does have a STEAM leader in the elementary school. So it's a teacher who gets a stipend for this extra position where they are helping to give some different activities to all of the teachers in their building around STEAM education. And again, and trying to incorporate that into what they're already doing, not creating new things for them to do. Really putting a big focus at the elementary level on helping students identify careers that they would be interested in and that they would be good at. So looking at different skills and abilities that they have, and then trying to find some careers that align. And then again, talking about pathways. So not so much talking about specific careers, but making sure that they understand the healthcare pathway and that that's an umbrella that lots of things fall in, the engineering pathway. So we talk a lot about pathways with our elementary students. So here you can see a picture of some of our students who took a field trip to Trader Joe's, which is one of our local businesses in Kettering, who is a partner for one of our schools. And while at Trader Joe's, which is a great grocery store, they learned about workforce economics, food production, and then several other things, and had a super fun time doing it. Here's a few other examples of how we're just trying to incorporate some career activities into to things that are already happening. So first over on the left, taking a ruler and some marbles to get them to start thinking about, they were doing a project in math about designing a playground. So how to use physics when designing playground equipment. In the middle, that pictures some of our kindergarten students who were learning about different types of weather. And so through that, we talked to them about what a meteorologist is, and that is someone who talks about weather and educates the community on what's happening with the weather. And so they created a wind vane to observe wind and speed. And then that last picture is some of our third grade students using the engineering design process. So again, that's a big emphasis through our STEAM education to build a glider, and then they all got to go outside and test them and fly them. So from here, then we move on to middle school, where we're trying to do more around the career exposure. And so that's where my work through the Career Navigator has, where I feel like this year and the first year I've done the most work is in the middle school space. So the hope is that when students get to the middle school, they have an understanding of pathways. And then we're trying to start exposing them to some in-demand career fields within pathways and using that U Science data around exposure gaps to make sure that we're hitting areas that students just aren't as familiar with. So once students get to 8th grade, every single one of our 8th graders, we have 2 middle schools, they take the U Science middle school assessment as well as Find Your Grind, which is a lifestyle career assessment. U Science happens early in September so that we have that data to work with all year. Next year, we'll be having a U Science family night on October 9th, where we'll have a bunch of our business partners in. Families will be provided their students U Science assessment results. They will then have a short presentation where we explain what is U Science, how to understand and interpret the results. And then after that, we will have a bunch of business partners here for something similar to a career fair, but it's going to be very hands-on so that they can explore the different career clusters where they showed an aptitude and interest. Another thing that we do with our middle school students is we have monthly career pathway lessons that are then broken down into each week. So like it's Monday career day, and so 1 month might be healthcare, and then week 1 might be learning about a respiratory therapist. Week 2 might be learning about a histology technician. But when I create these lessons for our middle school teachers, I make sure, number one, that it's very step by step. So I have the whole curriculum there. Everything is linked. Here's the questions to follow up and ask after you watch a short video. And all of the students 6 through 8 in both middle schools do that then. So making sure that we are focusing on in-demand career areas. A lot of times I'm talking to our business partners. So I'm a member of GADAHA, which is the Greater Dayton Area Hospital Association. And so they will say, like, we have a huge need for pharmacy techs or the histology technician. That's a new one that Sinclair is starting that program next year. So those are the areas that I choose to make sure to focus on as well. And then we have monthly lunch and learns that align with that career pathway lesson for the month. We are constantly doing field trips for students based on that U Science data, and really trying to, at this point, develop that career pipeline for as students transition to the high school, but also as they transition to business. So here's a couple. We've actually done 2 advanced manufacturing field trips. We did one in the fall and then one just a couple weeks ago on April 3rd. Each one we took 100 different middle school students. So 200 of our middle school students got to go do advanced manufacturing. We are starting an advanced manufacturing CTC program here in Kettering. That'll be our 15th CTC program that we offer here in-house. But we also know there's a huge demand for it. And when we look at our U Science data, manufacturing and engineering is one of our biggest areas with an exposure gap. So making sure that we're providing these hands-on experiences for students, especially at an early age, is really important to us. And then here's a couple of examples of some of those monthly lunch and learns. So up in the top left corner, those are when we did a manufacturing lunch and learn. So they brought laser engravers and robots. I always try to make sure that these are very hands-on, that there's something engaging for the student to actually do. Down in the bottom left, that was an IT lunch and learn where Tata Consultancy Services came in and they brought some augmented reality glasses, the VR headsets, lots of just different activities for students to learn about. And then over on the right-hand side was our healthcare lunch and learn, where we had athletic trainers come in with lots and lots of ACE bandages, and students were taught how to wrap an arm injury using an ACE bandage. And then I know this is blurry and I don't know why, I apologize for that, but these are those lessons. So you can see here, the 2 months that I showed lessons for were healthcare, with the different weeks, and then engineering and manufacturing, again, highlighting some of those in-demand career areas. So that's what those look like as well. Oh no, what happened? Okay. Oops. Oh, it's linked there. I'm sorry. So now you can see it a little bit better. I didn't realize I had it linked there. But everything then, like, here's the video, everything is linked for our teachers. Okay. All right, so then after middle school, we obviously move into high school, where the focus is more on the career experiences. So hopefully students have an understanding of pathways from the work that we've started in elementary school. They've started to be exposed to careers. And now we want to make sure that we're helping actually funnel students into a pathway that makes the most sense for their career goals. So for a lot of our students, that's going to be career tech, which is fantastic. For some of them, that's going to be the APIB track, for some CCP, but we, again, really want to make sure that we're focusing on those missing in the middle students, junior and senior year, and making sure that they are also getting services and supports when it comes to planning for a career after graduation. This is where we continue with the field trips and the speakers, but now we're starting to do more job shadowing. Our juniors and seniors can do work-based learning where they get credit to go out and work. And that meets the Ohio Means Jobs Readiness Seal. So that is also helpful towards graduation requirements. Our students will again take U Science, this time the high school assessment, and we have that embedded into our financial literacy course. Which is also helping to target students for different opportunities. So when I talk about these missing in the middle students, when we really try to do a deep dive into our data here in the district, and specifically at the high school, when we compare our students who are in APIB or career tech versus, again, what we're calling our missing in the middle kiddos, we see that the graduation for the students in AP and IB and career tech is about 99.5% versus a 90% graduation rate for our other students. We're also seeing lower grades in several instances, higher rate of absenteeism, and that they don't have that why behind schools. And I think just coming from my background of being a counselor in career tech, we've seen career tech work for some of our most highest achieving students. We've also seen how it can literally save students from dropping out of high school because they have finally found that passion and that why to what they're doing in school and how it's going to relate to what it is that they want to do in a career field. So we're hoping that by providing these opportunities to those students, they will start to see that why and understand how what they're doing in high school matters and is preparing them, which hopefully will then lead to increased motivation, engagement, and attendance. So we're trying to really make sure that we're putting a focus on making sure that their classes align to the pathway that they want to do. So we redid all of our for our program of studies, our pathways there with our course offerings here at Fairmont High School. This is the first time that we're offering work-based learning and credentialing to students outside of career tech. So we're excited about that. And we're making sure that there's several ongoing meetings with students and immediate caregivers between me as the workforce development navigator, their school counselor, but also we have transition advisors from Sinclair who are here once a week, just to again make sure that there's a plan in place and that everyone is understanding about what those goals are and the work toward accomplishing those goals. So I've talked a lot about youth science. So again, we give it to all of our students in 8th grade, and then they will take it again in high school through their financial literacy course. But it gives students their top career aptitudes, which are the careers that would be a good fit based on how they completed their brain games with natural skills and abilities, and then also based on interests as well. And so through that, I can do very targeted approach with individual students. So for instance, today, I took 15 freshman students who showed an aptitude in IT and computer science on a field trip downtown to Mile 2 to learn about different IT careers that exist there. But I can also look at our exposure gaps here, and that can help me decide about our monthly pathway lessons and about the lunch and learns that I'm scheduling in the middle schools, those things that are exposing all students across grade levels. And so I think this data shows us really what we would expect it to. The career clusters that have the highest interest are the ones that students see every day. So looking at teaching, law and public safety with police and firefighters, human services. So really those things that students see every single day is where their interests are. So how do we expose them to those in-demand career fields that they don't see every day unless they have a family member or a close relative, neighbor, friend who works in the fields. And so that's again where we're trying to put a lot of our focus through that data. I mentioned for our high school students, we did update all of our career pathway work this year to help identify course options for students when they're creating their schedule that align with the career pathway that they want to do. So here's just one example for healthcare. And then we created these for business, healthcare, computer science, IT, skilled trades, manufacturing, engineering, aerospace, arts and comm, and then human services and public safety. We also then, for all of our high school students who took U Science, the week before scheduling week, these were emailed specifically to students and their caregivers with an email from me that just said, hey, you'll remember that you took U Science. You showed an aptitude in healthcare. So we would really encourage you to try out some of these electives that will help you explore more about the healthcare field. So again, it's not that they are forced into anything or have to, it's just really us making recommendations. Another thing that we've really been trying to do more of with those missing in the middle students that I mentioned is encouraging career readiness. And so a lot of our career tech students have this naturally built into their career tech program where they're learning about hard skills and soft skills, developing a resume, different things like that. So we created a career readiness skills group. This again was the first year for it. So it was a pilot. We did it during first semester with some seniors and during second semester with juniors, where we had Laura Hart, who's the executive education director for Clothes at Work, who came in and ran a 6-week career readiness skills small group with these students. It was incredibly successful. Next year, the hope is that we can do one per quarter instead of one per semester so that we will have 4 different groups that go on. But she went over everything, I mean, from she worked on resumes with the students, interviewing skills, talking about effective communication in the workplace, hard skills, soft skills. I mean, she was really, really incredible, and that went very well with our students. Another thing that we have put in place, I specifically was able to pull lists of our students who applied for a career tech program and didn't get in. So that's another thing. As we do more and more of this work, we're seeing more and more popularity with our career tech programs, which is fantastic. And we wish we could take every single student. But unfortunately, there's only space for so many. And so healthcare is one of those areas where we see the most interest from our sophomores who apply. We do have 2 different CTC programs, one in allied health, one in medical assisting. So we can take 50 students a year, but I can tell you just like based off of our sophomore applications that were completed in February of this year, we had 109 students who applied for those 50 seats. So we have students telling us that they have an interest and a desire to learn more in a career field, but we can only take so many. So then I will work specifically with those students to help provide other opportunities. And so this year, we are doing a healthcare CCP pathway pilot. So I took 15 of those students who did not get into career tech that applied. They're all taking intro to healthcare delivery online through Sinclair. We've kind of created a little community and cohort with those students. I took them on a field trip to Kettering Hospital where they were able to do lots of different activities. Those are the pictures that you see on the screen. We got to learn about sterile processing and go in a lab. They got to learn from, there was a nursing area where they did blood pressure, temperature, pulse ox, all of that. So that has been very successful, and we're looking to create more of those opportunities based off of our list of students who don't get into a career tech program, but have a strong desire to continue to learn about the career field. Some of the other work that we did actually right there in the middle is my group of kiddos from this morning who went to Mile 2 to learn about IT and computer science. We've done some other field trips to Worth Electronic, of course, the Kettering Hospital. We were able to go down to TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, who also did a middle school lunch and learn for us. We were able to have the Army bring one of their flight simulators for our students who have expressed interest or aptitude in an aerospace career. So it's been a really fun and exciting year where we've been able to help provide additional opportunities for our students in career tech, but then really create some experiences for our non-CTC kiddos as well. Another big thing that we're working on here in Kettering is creating a career readiness culture within our district and for our staff. So we have started quarterly staff immersion events to engage our teachers, counselors, principals, board office staff with knowledge about modern work for some of our in-demand career fields. So essentially it's like a field trip for teachers one day. So we just started this. February was our very first one. This is the group of teachers and counselors and administrators who accompanied us to that. And we did advanced manufacturing and engineering. So we spent the morning at FC Industries and the afternoon at production control units, just learning about and seeing different careers and businesses that work around advanced manufacturing and engineering. Our next one is on May 7th. And that will be at Kettering Hospital for our staff to learn about healthcare careers. So here's just some pictures from that day and some quotes. I think for a lot of our staff, it was really eye-opening just to learn about different opportunities that exist. I try to be intentional about the businesses that we're visiting. So for both FC Industries and production control units, they hire people who have a high school diploma they hire people with a master's and higher in engineering. So to really be able to see that opportunity for various career opportunities within that one business and the opportunity for career advancement, they also both offer tuition reimbursement for students. So if they start working there and then want to slowly work toward a degree, they will, at FC Industries, they pay 100% of that tuition and books. So just really trying to help educate our staff about what opportunities exist. We're also working to educate our caregivers and families and the community. So our superintendent and our district leadership has been overwhelmingly supportive in this work, which has been amazing. So this picture here shows our superintendent, Mindy McCarty Stewart, with two of our middle school kiddos she does on the move with Mindy segments where she features different things that are happening in the district, and it's we film it and it's sent out to all parents, staff, and community members in Kettering. So she's been so great about coming and doing some of that with us. Also our principals, I do monthly write-ups to highlight the career pathways that we're focusing on in those lessons, as well as like the lunch and learns at the middle school and field trips. So the principals are great about sharing that out. I also make sure that I have a presence and that I'm presenting at board meetings and making sure that we're keeping everyone in the know as much as we can, and then working on having a social media presence as well, just to highlight some of the events that we're doing. So here's just some of the things. So again, the On the Move with Mindy, we work with our Forward Foundation, which is our alumni, works to engage our alumni. We also have weekly Friday Firebird focuses that go out from our superintendent. We do a podcast here in Kettering, a STEAM State of Mind. So that was another area where I did the podcast one week. So really just trying to get out in front of our families and our community as much as possible to share this work. And then lastly, I just want to talk a little bit about engaging business partners. Obviously, that's a huge piece of this, and the work that I'm doing would not be possible without partners in our business community. So I did create a business engagement form that I give out when I go to different events. One thing that I think has been really helpful for me, again, because we have career tech here at Fairmont High School and already in our district, and because I came from the world of career tech the past 10 years, I have a lot of pre-existing business partnerships. And we have a really great track record of businesses taking our career tech students who have then done amazing things in the businesses. So businesses are already feeling very empowered and optimistic about working with our students. So this is just one more way to do it. And so encouraging them to continue those relationships with our career tech programs and students, but how can we also expand those to some of our non-career tech students? Also super, super fortunate, Montgomery County ESC has an incredibly strong business advisory council and subcommittees. So I serve on all of those subcommittees, and I've been able to make really, really great contacts and partnerships through that. Laura Hart, the education director from Close That Work, who ran our career readiness small groups, I happened to show up to the community and parent engagement business advisory council subcommittee and sit right next to her, which is how we first met and started talking about some of our shared goals and interests. And out of that came the 6-week small group, which was great. So that has been really, really great. Also working with the city of Kettering and the Kettering Marine Oakwood Chamber of Commerce, and then Sochi as well, and a lot of their efforts in helping to place students into internships. So that is it for me. There's my contact information there with my email and phone number. I'm happy for people to reach out at any point in time. And if anyone has questions, I'm happy to answer those as well.
Did anybody have any questions? Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah.
It would be so exciting if they could do funding for this and make it and replicate it throughout the state. Just so everyone knows, the presentation is on the website, and then we will post the recording as well. And here, are your QR codes for feedback and to get a certificate. We appreciate you listening, and it's exciting to see what's being done K-12. And I like, what was the phrase you used? Students in the middle or
Oh, are missing in the middle?
in the middle. Yeah, I like that. That's a different way, and it's really clear. I love it. Love it. All right. Well, then I am going to stop the recording. And let's see here. Go.